वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतं वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Salutations to all. So yesterday we saw that Upanishads are the valid means to know the truth. Just like our eyes are the means to know the form, we can't use the ears. Through ears we can hear the sound, but we can't taste the food. So to gain knowledge, a valid means is important. That is called pramana. So to know the truth, what is the valid means? The valid means to know this truth is the intuitive knowledge of the self that rises in the mind, intellect and body, which is integrated, purified, unified. The preparation is the purification, unification. The direct means is the knowledge attained at the feet of the teacher, the intuitive knowledge that rises. Now, why is it said Upanishads are important as a valid means? Brahma Vidya is there in many other scriptures also. So we find the knowledge of the self, we may find in many compositions also. Like suppose we say Nirvana Shatkar, Adi Shankaracharya ji has given, has written. Now through that also knowledge of self will rise. Then what is the significance of the Upanishads? One very important aspect is Upanishads are a revealed knowledge. They are called Shruti. They are the Vedic knowledge. So this Vedic knowledge is not a human creation. Vedic knowledge is a revelation. The tradition says that the mantras are revealed as it is. It is not that the rishis experienced something and wrote it down in the language in which they were familiar. So it is not like how we say certain scientific discoveries. So let us say if Newton discovered law of gravity, he actually rediscovered. Aryabhatta and others have already mentioned in the Surya Siddhanta and other books. So when he discovered, then he wrote it in his language. Aryabhatta wrote in his language. In Sanskrit it is called Akarshana Shakti, Gurutva Shakti. It is not like that. The self-knowledge is not revealed to the rishi who wrote it in the language they know. The tradition says the mantras are revealed as it is. To Vishwamitra Rishi, the mantra is revealed as it is. To the Upanishad Rishis, the mantras are revealed as it is. So the importance of the revelation, that is the Shruti, which does not have human limitation. Our human intellect has limitations. The mind and intellect of these rishis, which is purified, they have transcended the ego. To them these revelations happen and they are transmitted generation after generation until Vedavyasji wrote them down. So that is why the Upanishads are called Shruti and they are called the valid means to know the self. because they are revealed knowledge. Now the Upanishads are how many? There are hundreds of Upanishads. Of them, 108 are recognized. Of them, 11 are considered major Upanishads. Because on them, the commentary is there of Shankaracharya-ji, Madhavacharya-ji and Ramanujacharya-ji. Isha, Kena, Katha, Aitareya, Taitreya, Mundaka, Mandukya, Vridaranyaka, Chandogya, Prashna and Shvetashvatara Upanishad. 11. Kaivalyopanishad is called as a minor Upanishad. Kaivalyopanishad, Amrit Bindu Upanishad, Surya Upanishad, even what just now some of you were chanting, Ganapati Atharva Shirsha Upanishad. They are called minor Upanishads. Not because the message is any lesser. The message is same sublime message of Brahman. But if one has studied the major Upanishads, then the same theme is there in the minor Upanishad also. And because the great Acharyas have given commentaries on these major Upanishads, they did not feel the need to comment on the minor Upanishad because the theme remaining the same, people would understand. Gurudev, he took the Kaivalyopanishad and we have his commentary available on this. Because in those times, Shankaracharya ji, etc., when they wrote, the minds of people were still more subtler. Today, if we open Kaivalyopanishad and we read by ourselves, Tat Tvameva Tvameva Tat, we will get confused. What does that mean? It sounds like a tongue twister, Tat Tvameva Tvameva Tat. But compassion of Gurudev, so he wrote. So we have his commentary available. So though it is called as a minor Upanishad, it is not lesser in message. Every Upanishad will have one Mahavakya minimum. Mahavakya means a statement which reveals the identity of Jiva and Brahma. It's called Mahavakya. And it is this Mahavakya that one has to listen to at the feet of a teacher. Then that intuitive knowledge rises. So, the Upanishads classified as major and minor from this standpoint. Now, this Upanishad is called Kaivalya Upanishad. Yesterday we saw a little bit about it. Kevala means that which is alone, that which alone is. If we analyze, why is it that we feel lonely? What will we come up as a cause? Why does a person feel lonely? Anyone? Because of limitations.
We identify with the body, mind, and mentality.
We identify with body, mind,
There's a
and
duality comes in that.
okay.
That's why we need company. Ego.
So once the identification, duality, then we need company. Okay? Right? Ego, same thing. Right, separation between us and God, so that creates the duality. Yes.
Confused personality.
Confused personality can be cause for many things. But loneliness, attachment is cause of loneliness, or attachment is the effect of loneliness? When there is loneliness, then we get attached. No?
We are finding the happiness outside. Extreme introvert.
That is
Part of BMI.
not part of BMI. Because I feel lonely, then I become extrovert to find happiness outside, right?
Extreme introvert.
We feel incomplete.
Extreme introvert. Attachment to the ego.
Attachment to ego. Oh, that is also possible. So a lot of reasons can be given at the different levels. But now think, is there any time when we don't feel lonely?
When we feel satisfied.
Deep sleep.
Deep sleep.
Deep sleep.
Correct.
Yes.
Nobody feels lonely in deep sleep. If you want to set a Guinness Book of World Record, you try. Try feeling lonely in deep sleep. We will never feel lonely in deep sleep. Any other situation where we don't feel lonely?
Extreme joy.
Yeah.
Extreme joy, yeah.
When you fulfill your.
In normal joy, we don't feel. We feel lonely in normal joy, or we don't feel lonely in normal joy.
When you are with the Lord, devotion.
Devotion, that is fine. Again, I'll come back to previous question. In normal joy, do we feel lonely or we don't feel lonely? You feel lonely in normal joy?
That's why you want to share.
Suppose you eat Rasgulla, at that time you feel lonely while eating Rasgulla and enjoying Rasgulla.
Sometimes you miss somebody you like, so it is
So
not.
when your desire is fulfilled.
While eating Rasgulla, if you take your attention away from Rasgulla, that oh, I wish this person was with me, then you may feel lonely, then you are not with the joy anymore.
So when your desire gets fulfilled, you don't feel lonely. And for a while.
While enjoying, we don't feel lonely. If I am with the object of enjoyment, because see, when does enjoyment rise, When the enjoyer and the enjoyed become one, then only enjoyment rises. So if enjoyer and enjoyed become one, there is no loneliness at that time. Our problem is we forget that. Again that enjoyer rises as an ego, again the person feels lonely. So no doubt the state of devotion, samadhi, deep sleep, all are states definitely where we don't feel lonely. But even in enjoyment, actually we don't feel lonely. Our problem is our mind doesn't stay with that enjoyment. It jumps to something else. Immediate desire, something else. Oh, how nice if this was if this person could have come with me for the camp, Swamiji, we planned together, but this didn't happen, While enjoying, the mind has gone already somewhere else now. Such a nice sunrise I saw today morning, Swamiji, but I wish, my children could understand the beauty of all this, they are not coming to spirituality at all. What you are enjoying? Sunrise. Where is the mind? Child. So when the mind goes away, then we feel lonely. So as some of you already said, the root cause is I don't feel complete. I feel I am incomplete when I identify with the body, mind or intellect. Then I feel incomplete. When I feel incomplete, I will feel lonely. Whatever makes me feel incomplete will make me feel lonely. If I don't feel incomplete, I will not feel lonely. In deep sleep, there is no incompleteness, so no loneliness. If the enjoyer enjoyed become one, no incompleteness. And that's why in Panchadashi it said Vishayanande Brahmananda. In Vishayananda itself there is Brahmananda. Only thing we are not finding. Because either our mind is very, very attached to that enjoyment that it is not able to let go. It keeps imagining enjoyment. So it craves for enjoyment. When it is enjoying, it is thinking of the next desire. So though we are enjoying the bliss of Brahman, we are not experiencing that because the mind is not there. It has gone somewhere else. So our scriptures, you see how they are given such beautiful method that you can realize Brahman everywhere. In the state of deep samadhi, that time so one definitely experiences Brahman. But even in the enjoyment of the world, one experiences Brahman. Just that one doesn't know it. One example that Guruji gives is, when you eat chocolate, how do you eat a chocolate? Open the wrapper and eat. No? What we are doing is eating with the wrapper. Vishayananda is eating chocolate with wrapper. Samadhi Ananda is removing the wrapper, experiencing chocolate, pure chocolate. And the person who has experienced that state will find bliss even in the day-to-day transactions of the world. That person will never anymore feel lonely because that person has experienced the joy of oneness, aloneness. So that Upanishad, which helps us to realize that state which is completeness, which alone is. When we feel incomplete, we can't say we are alone because the body, mind, intellect, all the three are there, plus that feelings of insecurity or causes of insecurity are there with us. We don't feel one, we are divided. We are ayukta, disintegrated. But when we become yukta and then let go of the ego, we experience oneness. So that state of oneness, aloneness is called Kaivalya, which is beyond ego. In Rigdrisha Vivek, Vidyaranya Swamiji writes very nicely. Yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhaya. Wherever the mind goes, there one experiences the bliss of the self. That is the state of the people who experience Kaivalya. So that's the meaning of Kaivalya. Now we go into little technical meaning. So the point I was trying to make is, lot of people, we all struggle with this understanding or with this loneliness, the feeling of loneliness. The only way to overcome feeling of loneliness is let go of incompleteness. There is no other way to overcome the feeling of loneliness. What we try to do is try to cling to someone or something that temporarily makes me feel happy. And when we cling, actually what happens? When we feel happy, for that much time we have forgotten ourselves. So the process remains the same, but we don't know that that is what we are doing. Suppose we feel, oh Swamiji, when I see movie, I feel so happy, I just lose myself with that. Somebody says, I feel so happy when I dance. Somebody says, when I sing. Somebody says, when I do some decoration, anything. Where one forgets the sense of ego, incompleteness, there one will come out of loneliness. If we understand that very well, then we don't need anything outside actually. Things outside or people outside are required only for us to understand this much, that when I forget myself, then I am most happy. That is the key. So, if a spiritual seeker says, I feel lonely, that means the person has not understood. And this loneliness drives everybody mad. What was one of the biggest challenges in the lockdown? Can't go out, interact, etc. But it is now, see, people who are staying with families also were feeling all that. If somebody is alone, completely cut off, absolutely, then still understandable, one may feel lonely, but with family also people are feeling that. And secondly, even those who are alone, nobody to interact, are we completely cut off from the world? Look at that technology, it was a boon that time. We had so much satsang and Zoom classes and people were doing, even now they are doing work from home, so many things are happening. Still the mind plays the trick. Maja nathi avati. Pella jevu notu. Something or the other it will find, Oh, this is not proper, that is not proper. All because this incompleteness I am feeling. In deep sleep, before lockdown, deep sleep, during lockdown, deep sleep, any change? Nothing. It's a trick of the mind. And the world thrives on loneliness. There are enough music albums which will make you think of all these things only. They will talk about loneliness and what I am going through and how people are treating me and this, that, everybody left me, I am so lonely. Hare Ram. So at some level one goes through that, but coming to spirituality, we should be able to overcome. One of the signs of spiritual progress is, am I happy being alone or not? So I mean, for some time it is okay, but long time it can't be like that. Am I happy being alone? Gurudev always said, if you cannot enjoy your own company, why inflict it on others? Bhajagovindam we read, no? What is the quality of a realized person given in Bhajagovindam? Yogarato va, bhogarato va, sangarato va, sangavihina. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati nandati nandati. That is the method to overcome loneliness. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam. Otherwise we will keep jumping from one object to other. And today's world, the jumping is too much. They think it is very modern. Height of stupidity actually it is. How can you spend one life with one person or fully? So these young people, they don't want marriage also. No, I can't stay with one person. I can't commit to one person whole life. Then what? Jump. Living relationships and partners keep changing. Will that heal the thing, the loneliness? It will not. It's just escaping, postponing the problem. That's all it is, nothing more than that. So whether we jump from people to people, object to object, new hobby, new job, new place, until we don't overcome incompleteness, loneliness will not go. So the sadhana to be done is that, can I be happy by myself? That is a sadhana. And to be happy by oneself, one should live in the present, one should be able to let go of the sense of incompleteness. Then one is happy. If I can experience that through the performance of Swadharma. See, our culture does not speak only of the highest knowledge. Because some people will say, Swamiji, this overcoming incompleteness and realizing Brahman is very fast-paced, very high. Okay, that is high, no doubt. Swadharma. If I do what I love and love what I do, and I am fully absorbed in that, I will not feel lonely. Are artists not spending hours and hours? Musicians, they spend their time in music, and the best music comes out of them when? When they forget themselves. For hours they do practice. So following Swadharma also one can overcome that. To a certain extent one will understand. Through enjoyment also one will understand. Nowadays they call it mindful eating. Mindfulness. Mindful eating, mindful talking, mindful walking. No, mindful. Everything has to be done mindfully. What does that mean? It is same thing what the Shastra is saying. Be one with that. Enjoyer enjoyed when they become one. Enjoyer forgets oneself. Enjoyment remains. So whether in enjoyment, whether in Swadharma, whether in deep sleep, whether in meditation, all possible ways one can experience fulfillment. So this state of oneness, where we don't feel insecure, incomplete, is the state of Kaivalya. Now we go a little technical in terms of Vedanta. What is the meaning of Kaivalya in Vedanta? There are three types of differences, Bheda they are called. First Bheda is called Vijatiya Bheda. Difference between species. So plant is different. In the plant also certain carnivorous plants are different. Flowering plants are different, grass is different, tree is different, all different species. That is called Sajatiya Bheda. But first I will come to Vijatiya Bheda. Vijatiya Bheda means difference in species. dog is different, cat is different, birds are different, human beings are different. Each is one species. Each has their own unique qualities. That is called Vijatiya Bheda. Then Sajatiya Bheda is within the species there are different types. So within a dog, so many. Doberman, German Shepherd, what is it? Labrador, Pooch, like that, so many within the species. That is called Sajatiya. Then, within that individual jiva, there are differences. That is called Swagata. Swagata. Swagata means within the individual. So the head is different, leg is different, tail is different, all that is different. Now these three are the ways of finding the duality in the world and classifying them from one standpoint to understand. In the state of Kaivalya, these three are not there. The state where the three Bhedas are not there is the state of Kaivalya. Sajatiya, Vijatiya and Swagata Bheda is not there. Vijatiya Bheda arises when there are so many different types of species which are there. Variety, where there is variety, there this Vijatiya Bheda will rise. Can there be variety in Brahman? Swamiji, Brahman of Satyuga is different and Brahman of Kalyuga is different. Kalyuga Brahman is little more polluted. Satyuga Brahman is purest. No, there is no variety in Brahman. There is no Swagata Bheda in Brahman. There is no, Sajatiya, Vijatiya, no Bheda. Because that which is infinite is one. No Vijatiya Bheda, no different types of. Oh, but Swamiji, Rama is different, Krishna is different, Govinda is different, Devi is different. 4 different Sagun Brahmans. Then Ardhanarishwara is there, no? So different. Not one only. Even that Rama, Krishna, etc. is in the same species. If we say Vijatiya Bheda, then it will be what? Matsya Avatar is different, Kurma Avatar is different, Varaha Avatar is different. All these are different. So there is division in Brahman. Some people may think there is no division in Brahman. Brahman can appear in so many. No Vijatiya Bheda in Brahman, no Sajatiya Bheda also in Brahman. Meaning same species, different types of beings. In Brahman there is no such thing. And no Swagata Bheda also. Swagata Bheda will be where there are parts. In Brahman there is no parts. So no Swagata Bheda also. These 3 types of Bhedas are responsible for differences. But in Brahman when they are not there, what actually that means is Vijatiya Bheda, in the world we may see different species, but one thing which is common in all of them is Brahman. That is what it means. Sajatiya Bheda also. Because in the world, if you see, these are the 3 divisions based on which so much of suffering also is there. Human beings are different from animals. So what do? Kill, eat. Vijatiya Bheda. Sajatiya Bheda. In the same species there are differences, right? So if we take human beings themselves, are we not differentiating? Black, white, brown. How much racism is there in the world? North Indian, South Indian, Hare Rama. Aryan, Dravidian. The whole theory only is a myth. It was cooked up by people, and for centuries we have suffered, and still our politics is based on that. The entire Dravidian movement is based on that only. Though that the theory has been proved a myth, Aryan invasion never happened. But it will go on. That is because Sajatiya Bheda and Swagata Bheda also. Within the body itself. Some people feel like that. My nose is very long. From whose standpoint it is long, from which standpoint, but one will feel less or more. Swami will look at that person, size 0 waist, flat tummy. I am apple shaped tummy. Swagata Bheda it is. One part is more, one part is less. Suffering is caused based on all this because comparisons will happen. Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata Bheda, then one will start comparing. My left hand is more powerful than my right hand. Compare. That state where there is no difference at all, no division at all, that state is Brahman. How does it even matter which jati, which varna, what bheda is there? It is anyway external only. Until we don't come to Vedanta, world peace will not happen. Because on some division or the other, we will start fighting. Economically, we will start fighting. Race, caste, community, creed, gender, nationality, economics, anything, and new thing one will start finding to fight. So if one wants to experience fulfillment, the only way is realize there is no difference, there is no duality. That knowledge is the knowledge of this Kaivalyopanishad. So now, this is the introduction of Kaivalyopanishad. What is the state of Kevala? This Upanishad belongs to Atharva Veda. So every Upanishad has a Shanti mantra. The teacher and the student chant it together so that the minds get tuned to a common altar, which is the Lord. So the teacher tunes the mind to the Lord, students tune the mind to the Lord, and then the knowledge transfer can happen. So from various backgrounds we may have come, various activities we may have finished and come, so the mind is dissipated. So in the beginning of the class, some chanting is done, etc. So everybody's mind gets aligned. So the Upanishads which come under Atharva Veda will have the same Shanti mantra. Like Ganapati Atharva Shirsha Upanishad also, same Shanti mantra. The Prashnopanishad also same. Mundakopanishad also same. So one will find the same Shanti mantra. So here it is. Let us, you can repeat after me. Om Bhadram Karneभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्ट्वांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Om is the shortest indicator of the absolute truth. Om iti ekaksharam Brahma. Now, this is a prayer to the Supreme Lord as well as to the Devatas. And what does this prayer say? Om Bhadram Karne Bihi Shunuyama Devaha. O Devatas, may we listen to what is auspicious. You know, Karna means ear. Karna means 2 years. Karnaha means many years. So, here it is said Bhadram Karne Bhihi means not only with 2 years, with many years. Though we have 2 years, we should listen as though we have many more years. That is the meaning. Bhadram Karne Bhihi Shunuyama Devaha. Listening is the direct means of realizing the truth. There is no other means to realize the truth. In fact, the only means to realize the truth is listening, Shravanam. Without listening, we don't know anything in life. We can't know only anything in life. Now, Swamiji, we know by reading. How do we learn to read? By listening only, no? Somebody taught us this means A, this means A, this means A. So we heard. Then we form the sound in the mind, then we are able to read. So the Siddhanta of Vedanta is, if the mind is ready, instant is realization the moment we hear from the teacher. Bhadram Karne Bhihi Shunuyam Devaha. So the maximum attentiveness must be for listening. To help us to develop maximum attentiveness, other sadhanas are there. Karma Yoga, Upasana, Mantra Japa, Yatra, Upvas, so many. If any of those sadhanas hamper my listening, I don't need to do that. Oh, but Swamiji, how will sadhana hamper listening? It is possible sometimes. Fasting is one example. We may fast. But sometimes if it happens that because of fasting, the sugar level has gone low and we feel drowsy, we feel sleepy, then in Upanishad class one is sleepy. One is not listening attentively. But daytime one is doing fasting. So now, what will happen? Punya of fasting one will get. But that punya was meant for what? That punya was meant for getting satsang, listening in satsang to realize the truth. So we should decide clearly. I am saying this out of my experience. If somebody is going through that, don't think I am telling about you, Baba. I am not telling about anybody here. You do fasting, you do what you want. I know, no problem. I am talking from my experience because in Vedanta course we have done all those things and see. Because we get all these moods. Suddenly get up at Brahma Murta 3 o'clock in the morning and take cold water bath. Gurudev used to do that. We will also do it. And then go and do puja, Shiva Sahasranamavali and all that, and take some anushthan, and we do it like that. 3 o'clock one has got up, and then 5:30 Vedic chanting, and then one comes to 7 o'clock class, and in the class Upanishad is going on, and slowly, while one is writing the note, the pen goes somewhere, word also is not found fully. What is the point of getting up at 3 o'clock? Upanishad time is the main sadhana. No. That preparation of the mind is required. Then only we can understand Upanishad. But preparing, you are sleeping in the Upanishad class. Fasting, sometimes we do like that. Shivaratri, I tell you, For me, it used to be absolutely difficult to do japa on Shivratri day. Horrible. Why, Because when we were studying, now I don't know what happens in Vedant course. We were studying at that time, the Shivratri cleaning, etc. We have to start doing 3 days in advance. So full temple we have to wash and clean, and outside also, and till the steps everything, and then go into the sanctum, wash everything up. Full entire cleaning. Then sit and make garland. Flowers will come. So many flowers will come. Sit and make garland and chant Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya while making garland. Then do the whole decoration, everything. 3 days already you are exhausted doing hard work, but at least food is there, normal food you are eating. Shivratri day, only milk and banana. Nothing else we will get whole day. Full day, milk and banana. And crowd will come. We have to do crowd control, and that time this nariyal, they used to bring. So we take the nariyal inside the sanctum, break it, do the abhishek and give. Brahmacharis have to do that. So from morning 5 o'clock onwards, this starts. And duty is put this time to this time, you break coconut here, this time to this time, do crowd control, this time to this time, you can sit and do chanting because Akhanda Nam Sankirtan happens. Baapre. And how much can you drink milk and eat banana? You cannot do so much. Body would get tired. So then night, this 12 o'clock midnight arti. Lot of fervor is there. Everybody is Om Namah Shivaya chanting and all that. Music is going on. Thousands of people are there, and one is wanting to sit and meditate and remember Lord Shiva, but mind goes to sleep. Because what has happened? Full day one has exhausted oneself, tired, exhausted completely. So fasting, if one is doing, literally fasting means upavasa. Sit close to Bhagwan. If I have to do hard work that time, then fasting is very difficult. Some people may be able to still do it, but after some time it becomes very difficult. One has to pull through it. So each one must know their body temperament and accordingly take up certain sadhana so that Shravanam does not get disturbed. So here he says, Bhadram karne bhi chunayana. May we hear what is auspicious. What is the meaning of auspicious? Whatever helps me to evolve in my spiritual growth is Bhadram. What makes me fall or what makes me inalert, that is not Bhadram. If I compromise with some values, that is not Bhadram. If I oversleep, that is not Bhadram. If I have laziness, that is not Bhadram. If I have anger and attachment, that is not Bhadram. Because all this will take me away from Nididhyasana. So simple method to know what is Bhadram, what is auspicious is this helping me to evolve or not? If it is helping me, it is auspicious. Which makes the mind quiet, which helps to surrender the ego, which helps to reflect steadily, contemplate steadily, that is Bhadram. Which brings Sattva Guna in the mind is Bhadram. If Rajoguna increases, then that is not Bhadram. Now that also is in context. If I am a very tamasic person, then I should do something which will increase my Rajoguna. Then for me, Bhadram is Rajoguna. Laziness if I have, then I should get up and go for a jog in the morning. That is Bhadram. I should take up seva, do hard work. Then laziness, lethargy, sloth will go. So for a tamasic person, Rajoguna is Bhadram. For a Rajasic person, Sattva Guna is Bhadram. For a Sattvic person, Gunatita is Bhadram. Because Sattva Guna also is binding. So it depends on what context it is. So here when we say Bhadram, may I see what is auspicious, may I hear what is auspicious, the sounds which we take in, are they producing quietude, peace, happiness, positivity? Then that is Bhadram. Otherwise what happens? Anything we are listening. listening to Bhagwan's name, listening to chanting of the mantras, or listening to stotrams, or listening to the lives of great saints, or anecdotes about the Guru, or Bhagwan, listening to Katha, all that is Bhadram. In Bhagavatam it is said, the ears which do not listen to the glory of Bhagwan are like holes for the snake to go and stay. Think about it. Our ears are like snake pit. If we don't listen to Bhagwan's glory, because this is the way through which Bhagwan enters our heart. Very beautiful symbolism it is. Krishna Bhagwan never went through the door straight into the house of the gopis. Even if the door is open, he will not go through the door. How does he go? Window only. These are the windows. Bhagwan will enter. Listening to the Katha of Bhagwan or listening to the Upanishads, we develop bhav. People say that Upanishads are very dry. Upanishads are not dry. There is a lot of bhav. One will have the bhav for the self because the enlivener is consciousness. It is not some abstract power, energy. That's where we have got confused. I don't believe in form, I believe in energy. God is power, God is energy. God is not any power or energy. God is enlivening factor who makes everything possible. The Jada becomes Chaitanya because of that. Will one not have feeling for that? The self is in my heart, that self is appearing as this whole universe. And that will come when we listen carefully. And listen from a person who is having that bhav or who is doing that sadhana. That's why it is said company of the devotees is very important in bhakti. Company of Sadguru or the spiritual seekers is important in Jnana. Because when we listen from them, those are not empty words. Those are words charged with feeling. They will infuse that bhav in our heart. Gurudev always used to give that example, A candle which is lit is required to light another candle. Same way. So, Bhadram karne bhi shunayama devaha means may I listen to what is auspicious, not just from anywhere, that is one aspect, but especially more and more from the teacher, from the master. Bhadram karne bhi shunayama devaha. Which also means if I have to listen to what is auspicious, I have to speak auspicious. Gurudev used to say, our ears are unfortunately closest to our mouth. More than the ears of other people, our ears are closest to our mouth. So when we make a sound, we are the first ones to hear that. Even if we abuse somebody, we will hear first. So our ears get affected maximum. So if I have to listen to auspicious, what should I do? I should speak auspicious. Bhadram karne bhi shunayama devaha. And this is one sadhana by itself. Because our mind plans properly to speak negatively. It does not plan nicely to speak positive. It plans properly to speak negatively. I meet this person next time. Suna dunga usko. Give a piece of my mind. This is what I am going to tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Full preparation is done. When will you meet that person? That I don't know. Whenever I meet this person. Maybe after 10 years you may meet. But for that 10 years one will go on replaying this record in the mind. So our mind plans to does anybody plan how can I give compliment to this person? Such a nice thing they have done. Let me give compliment. Does anybody plan compliments? Compliment when we have to give, we finish in one sentence. Oh, this is very nice. Very well done. Congratulations. Amazing. Wonderful. Awesome. Bus. Any one of the words. And today that is also not required. One emoji is required. Thumbs up. हो गया. Nobody plans for speaking auspiciously. Everybody plans for what? How to plan to hurt somebody. That person hurt me, I will hurt double. Seeker doesn't have that mindset. Because the fact is, we cannot hurt anybody without hurting ourselves. That is the simplest fact. Gurudev used to love this Mullah Nasruddin jokes. Sometimes he used to say also in his talks. So once this Mullah Nasruddin, he was going in the market. So his friend met him. He said, "Hey Mullah, what are you having on your back?" He said, "This is a bomb." So that friend got little stunned. He says, "What? You are carrying a bomb? Why are you carrying a bomb on your back?" He said, "Every day I pass through this bazaar. This one fellow, this shopkeeper is there, He looks at me, and then when I am crossing by near from him, fart one he gives on my back. And he says, 'Hi Mullah.' I told him many times, 'Don't do this,' but he is not listening. So today I have a bomb. When he hits me on the back, this bomb will blast. Think about it. Huh? Where did Mullah go then? That's the point, no? We may feel like laughing, but all of us are that Mullah or not. We are only carrying one thing on our back. Full time. Somebody comes to hurt me, they will get it back. They can't take me for granted. Our ego takes us for a ride happily. So Bhadram Karne Bhi Shunayama Devaha, especially the seeker of Upanishad. Somebody says, "No Swamiji, in the world we have to be like that, otherwise people take you for a ride." If I am a seeker of the Upanishads, I cannot harbor those feelings. If I want realization, if I want to settle accounts with people, then okay. There also it actually doesn't settle, but one believes, so one keeps doing that. The seeker of the Upanishad has to be like this example of Eknath Maharaj. 108 times that fellow spat on him and still he didn't get angry. That is the quality required if I want to realize the self. The grass bends, and when we walk, the grass gets trampled also. During our course, that is one thing which we learned. Our teacher said that if you want to realize the self, you have to be like the grass. Even if somebody tramples upon you, you need to let go, because that is functioning in the realm of the ego. This is not cowardice. This is a choice that one is making, that I don't want to work at this level. I will operate to realize the self. So, whether it is praise or criticism, both one will face in the same way. That is the point. Our problem is we don't want anybody to talk negative about us or talk to us something which makes us feel taken for granted. But praise we want. If somebody praises, and forget real praise, flattery we want, where there is no substance, sometimes they are just flattering for the sake of flattering, that also one wants. What they call chane ke jhaad pe chadaya. Such people one wants near, those who are flattering. Then one will not realize. Because one is still stuck in the ego. One who goes beyond the praise and criticism, that person can contemplate steadily. Because both these will keep our mind occupied full time. We try to meditate, what will happen? One of the obstacles is this: somebody hurt me 20 years back. I am still having in my head. That person passed on also, but still I have it in my head. So one has to let go of all those. That is called Bhadram. Again I am saying, this is not cowardice. Unfortunately we have forgotten that, so in the name of cowardice, in the name of spiritual evolution, we are encouraging cowardice. That should not happen. Ability to retaliate is there, but I am not doing because I don't want. So Bhadram Karne Vishunuyama Devaha. Bhadram Pashye Makshabhir Yajatraha. May I see what is auspicious. What we see will form images in the mind. It will come up it will bring up desires. Full marketing works on this only, no? Advertising, marketing works on this principle. One nice visual. And the way they will show it, one will feel, yeah, I want it. It is, see, normal amras, na, if we drink, is so good, healthy, nice. But they will show that cold drink and summertime and this person is sweating and that cool drink is falling and this person dying to have to drink it, and when one drinks it, full build up in that advertisement. And then one says, I must have. You know, when we were children, this Maggi noodles they used to have, and they used to soup, they used to just eat like that. So that long curly noodles will just go inside. So all children we want to eat like that only then. So if the mother breaks that Maggi and makes it into fine, what do you call it, small pieces, then we get very angry. No, I can't eat like that. All those are marketing gimmicks because that goes inside the head and there's a whole, what do you call it, course you can do on that. What is it called? Consumer behavior. Design thinking, consumer behavior, all that. How to attract the customer. Upanishads are saying that to us, be very cautious, Baba. What you see will go inside, create the image, will create desires in the mind. And when we are not careful at all, anything is seen in the world, we are allowing any image to fall in the mind. So Bhadram Pashyema, may I see what is auspicious. Oh, but Swamiji, but a lot of inauspiciousness splashed around. At least if I can't stop that, I can stop paying attention to it. When I see something, it's not inappropriate. If it's inappropriate, immediately turn the mind away from it and chant the mantra. Why chant the mantra? Because otherwise the mind will tempt again to see. Chant the mantra and remove the craving for it. I want to see again. Especially some things which are most tempting. If I am trying to overcome a certain addiction or a certain habit, I must avoid till I get firm control. Majority of the people don't do that. They think, Swamiji, it should be there and I should still not be tempted. Then that is called real self-control. So let there be Rasgulla in front of me, but I will not eat it. Then that is called I have developed control. But 9 after 10 he eats it. 10th time he may not eat and say, see, today I didn't eat. So that is a justification. Don't bring only no in front. Till that proper understanding is developed. Out of sight, out of mind is true. Now we are here, away from family, work, so many things. We are able to focus because those things are not there. So what we take in is very, very important. Especially because the sound and the image, they have a lot of recall value, especially sound. One of the subtlest and the most difficult things to overcome in meditation is sound. Because the sound keeps coming. Either external sound, that is anyway one obstacle, but internal. The mind will start playing some song it loved 20 years back when one is doing meditation. Suddenly from somewhere it will come and that sound is going on and on and on. One starts doing japa in that song tune. All that starts happening. If one is not alert, the japa will start. Some time back, I will end with this anecdote. Long time back, I think 10 years ago or something, one song was there, Dhoom Macha De, Dhoom, something song was there, I don't know what it was. you know, these youngsters, we were doing youth empowerment program with them. So bhajans, evening 7 o'clock bhajans. So this one fellow, he started singing Om Namah Shivaya Jai Jai Om Namah Shivaya Jai Jai Om. That is in that tune, you know. Dhoom machale, dhoom something. I am sitting after that next 2-3 days meditation, it is coming. Om Namah Shivaya. Because my mantra is Om Namah Shivaya. It is going round and round and round in the head. Because when that tune was being, I didn't know that was a film song. That tune was very catchy. So when any Om Namah Shivaya tune which is very catchy, I register in the head because then I can sing whenever I want to sing Glory of Bhagwan. Then afterwards they were telling me, because I appreciated them, you know, this nice tune, from where you found. Then they started playing Dhoom Machale Dhoom. So, now Om Namah Shivaya is going on one side, Dhoom Machale Dhoom is going on other side. So be very careful. That's why generally I don't encourage people singing a bhajan in a filmy tune. Because then the mind goes away from Bhagwan to that filmy tune. Better it is to stick to normal bhajan. Why put the bhajan in a filmy tune?
Last evening, that particular video, Chinmaya was so beautiful, very catchy.
Yeah.
Very impactful.
Very nice. Correct. So 2 lines we have seen, more we continue in the evening. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri